Meghan Markle and Prince Harry recently stepped out in New York for their first joint appearances since the birth of their daughter, Lilibet Diana, on June 4. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex attended to participate in Global Citizen Live, to promote equal access to the COVID-19 vaccine as well as a reading at a school in Harlem. Royal commentator Katie Nicholl pointed out a notable inconsistency between the outing and the image the couple have wanted to offer the world of themselves. The couple did face criticism for the visit, including the fact that they traveled back to Montecito by private jet, after being vocal about the effects of climate change. Ms. Nicholl, the royal editor of Vanity Fair, spoke about the event on the royal beat. She said, "Turning up at an underprivileged school in Harlem, in a couture coat that costs more than the combined incomes of most of those parents at the school. It doesn't make any sense. It just shows them to not be in touch." The Duchess was slammed for wearing the $5,840 Loro Piana cashmere coat, as she was visiting an underprivileged part of New York. The Duchess and Harry stepped down from their role as working royals in the British monarchy last year. Since moving to Montecito, California, the couple have signed various deals with multiple companies. Their production deal with major player Netflix was reportedly around $150 million. It is also rumored that Meghan is starting a new skin line with infomercial guru Bill Guthy. The deal is rumored to be around $200 million. Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, 74, recited a poem to honor National Poem Day, and Clarence House shared a recording of it on Twitter. The Duchess, who is a supporter of Poetry Together, an organization that connects groups of school children and elderly people to perform poems they have learned by heart, read W.H. Auden TMS Poem Night Mail. But according to a language expert, the future princess consort requires some professional voice training. Reacting to the recording, language expert Julie James told Express.co.uk the Duchess could do with some coaching to allow herself to sound engaged, interesting and fully on board with her messages. Julie praised the Camilla's natural vocal tone, saying it sounds mature and adult in contrast to both the Queen and Kate TMS higher, more girlish, silvery tones. Unlike many of the Windsor women, she has a deep, kindly tone with a hint of huskiness. However, the expert claimed Camilla needs training not to sound unlike herself but to get the most out of the attributes of her voice. As consort, Julie said, she will need to make speeches that might possibly be as dry as dust and will need to make the words come alive to modern ears. Royals are being heard all the time, on TV, radio and social media, as well as during those more formal royal addresses. When Camilla's husband, Prince Charles, 72, accedes the throne, Camilla's role within the firm will change, too. Even though she won't be known as Queen Consort, out of respect for the late Princess Diana, her title will carry the responsibilities that come with being married to the King. Besides, the Duchess of Cornwall is already the most senior female royal after the Queen, a position that she uses to support causes she feels strongly about. This includes her work as president of the Royal Voluntary Society, of which the Queen is patron, and patron of the Silver Line, a free confidential helpline for older people experiencing loneliness, among dozens of other organizations in the areas of health, women empowerment, arts, literacy, and support of victims of rape, sexual abuse and domestic violence. Camilla's reading of the poem echoes her commitment to connecting the country's youngest and oldest people to benefit the development of the former and the mental health of the latter. But according to Judy, in this context, the Duchess could up her game. The language expert says the poem is the worst option to show off her traits. It needs more of a storybook delivery, using pauses, drama and rises and falls. At present, there is a flatlined effect to Camilla TMS reading out loud trademark. Camilla's public speaking needs other tweaking too. Firstly, Julie says, her enunciation needs a little exaggeration. While it comes through okay for real life, it isn't enough for poetry or to connect with a large audience. Secondly, the Duchess has to control her breath, which goes slightly at a couple of points, and she sounds as though she is suppressing a cough or needing to clear her throat towards the end. She sounds as though she hasn't TMT warmed up. Judy can also sense some shyness in Camilla's delivery. She sounds a little like we all probably did when we were asked to read aloud at school and felt embarrassed and lacking in confidence. In her future role as princess consort, mastering her speeches will be essential. Jodie says, Camilla can be coached to enjoy this kind of thing. Her initial recommendation for the Duchess is to draw from her experience as a mother. If she read to her children when they were small, she must have used a more varied tone. This should help her to add impact, engagement and variety now. Prince Andrew was photographed horse riding near Windsor Castle in the company of 2 aides. The Duke of York wore a blue jacket, gloves and a black and white helmet as he rode a horse. Andrew lives at the Royal Lodge, just a short drive away from the Queen's home in Berkshire, and in the past, he has often been spotted riding in the area. These recent photographs of the Duke come after Prince Andrew was seen leaving Balmoral Castle, where he has spent several weeks this summer, on September 30th. Andrew was pictured smiling and waving at well-wishers while behind the wheel. His trip back south of the border came after his legal team officially conceded the Duke has been served with a civil lawsuit brought against him in a federal court in New York by Virginia Giuffre, who was one of the accusers of billionaire sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Prince Andrew has until October 29 to respond to the lawsuit. The next hearing is scheduled for November 3. Ms. Giuffre claims to have been sexually assaulted by the prince when she was 17. In her lawsuit, she claims the Duke engaged in sexual acts with Ms. Giuffre without her consent. She alleges Prince Andrew knew how old she was at the time and that she was a sex trafficking victim. The Duke of York has consistently and strongly denied the allegations against him. Asked about Ms. Giuffre, Andrew said he had no recollection of meeting her. Asked about whether, as alleged by Ms. Giuffre, he had dined with her, danced at Tramp and had sex with her at her home in London Belgravia, Andrew also said, I can absolutely categorically tell you it never happened. Prince Andrew's return to England in late September also gave him the chance to finally meet his granddaughter, the first child of Princess Beatrice and Edoardo Mopelli-Mozzi. The happy couple welcomed their baby to the world on September 18 at the Chelsea and Westminster Hospital. But they only publicly announced her name one day after Andrew left Balmoral, on October 1. Taking to Twitter, Beatrice said, We are delighted to share that we have named our daughter Sienna Elizabeth Mopelli-Mozzi. This name pays tribute both to Edoardo's Italian roots and to the baby's relationship with the Queen. Beatrice and Edoardo did not share a picture of their daughter but published instead a sweet photograph, showing her footprints. In her brief statement, Beatrice also provided an update on how her family is adjusting to the baby's arrival and included Edoardo's 5-year-old son Christopher Wolfe, known as Wolfie. She said, We are all doing well and Wolfie is the best big brother to Sienna. While Prince Andrew had to wait for several days before being able to meet Sienna, doting grandmother Sarah Ferguson reportedly travelled back from Balmoral one day before Beatrice gave birth. Another member of the York family, who will have likely met the newborn, is Princess Eugenie, who with Sienna's arrival became an aunt. Hours after Buckingham Palace announced to the public the birth of the royal baby, the youngest daughter of Sarah and Andrew took to Twitter to pen a message to Sienna.